Only the worst little jealous motherfuckers in the history of the world interrupt a guy right in the middle of his crescendo of Tony Orlando. Wow, you fuckers are mean. I know my nose is clogged from all the crap, from the Dust Bowl conditions and the chemical poisoning from the Don Juan Oñate Foundation, But son of a bitch, man, who interrupts the guy in the middle of his Tony Orlando and Don, is he? Only the worst jealous piles of shit in the history of the world. Well, I'm not gonna sing Tony Orlando now. I like to sing; it's fun. And there's people, you keep singing. Yeah, but do I ask people for money? When I sing, it's for fun. I sing to attract attention so we can all live the Lord's Prayer like King David in the streets of Jerusalem. Jews submit to rule of faithful, loving peace. Jerusalem. Where's Jerusalem? Chisnor, San Isidro, New Mexico, pinche putos and putas. Orale, right? I can safely say, okay, that I've never chosen sex over my family. Never, not once. No. Okay. You can't, but I can. You haven't stood for the Lord's Prayer a day in your life. You've chosen sex over your family. You can be 114 years old. You haven't stood for the Lord's Prayer a day in your life. You've chosen sex over your family. I like to thank my children, my grandma, my grandpa, for the winning of this award. Right? I can safely say I have never chosen sex over my family. What about with Amy and Stephanie? And I felt I had to have sex with them to try to keep my family together, so I wouldn't lose them to the corrupt authorities. You lost them to the corrupt authorities anyway. Yeah, but I was trying to hold my family together so we could all live the Lord's Prayer one day. I wasn't doing it for sex. It was hard. The last time me and Steffi had sex, it was to get back at Shar for screwing around on her, and that was horrible. And Patrick got up and locked the door. And I said, good, son. She ain't coming back to do that to us no more. Hell no. Nobody uses us. We're two of the, best-looking men in the history of the world. Nobody uses us for sex. No one thinks that we're toolbags for sex. If they think we're toolbags for sex, they got another thing coming. I'm the Ark of the Covenant. I'm living in bottom of the Lord's Prayer. When my prodigal comes around, he's going to be like, damn. Earl, this sure enough must be love. It's got to be. Took me $350 to talk my wife into naming my son Patrick Earl Parsons instead of Ralph Earl Parsons III. It's like, I ain't doing that to my boy. Hell no. Your mom calls me a double barfer. And you trying to talk me into place naming my son Ralph Earl the Parsons III? Right? So I sat there and said, well, name him after his grandmother and his auntie, Patricia and Patrice. We'll name him Patrick, because, Riley Chuffy Hughes, it's a good Irish name. He's supposed to be, he's due on St. Patrick's there now, here to who's, right? So, Pep, his grandmother loved it. Especially when, my explanation, he named him after me. After his Aunt Patrice and his grandma, Boy, that's a big bunch of emotional baggage, ain't it? Yeah. You obviously don't know. Oh, fuck you, Earl! Say Doug one more time. My sister can't roll her R's. Okay. So in Espanol, how do we say perro? We say Patrice. Say it. Fuck you, Earl! That's how we say dog in Spanish at a barbecue at the Tutrici relaxation table. Okay. Oh, fuck you, Earl. Thank you very much. You're welcome. I'll be here all week. It's funny. What do you know for funny? Okay, I get so sick and tired of being orchestrated by the worst perverts in the history of the world, and they think, we're winning the game. What game is there? Life's eternal, grace is infinite, right? Lord's Prayer is perfect, right? You won't submit to faith in infinite glory, and you deny everybody the Lord's Prayer. And you're the greatest scientist in the history of the world. We're going to solve all your problems. We're going to cure all diseases. We're going to make the best drugs ever. Ever. What about in the year 3510? Because God's coming. He ought to be here by then. I know I'm funny. I get it. Okay. Guys, God's omniscient and omnipotent. Okay. Uh-huh. I was sitting there listening to some music and getting ready and just farting around with my Western New Mexico Dynasty on my, NCAA football 2014. And it was getting explained to me in my head by all the voices, in here. Earl, they're competing with you and they're trying to beat you. And it's impossible. Okay, it literally is, because past, present, and future operate at the same time. It is impossible for you to love me the same way I love you. It's impossible. No, it really is. If you understand the meaning of the word impossible, it's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible. Yeah, Perry Como's impossible. It's impossible. Well, because I am the fulfillment of the book of Revelation. I stood for the Lord's Prayer all by myself to save children from mass murder. You did not. You can start loving everybody the way I love you today. But you're not the spirit of Father Adam. You're not the one who's humbly submitted to faith and glory all those years ago to save the children of the world from original sin, to save people from taking omnipotent glory and turning it into a possessive pronoun first person in their head that they're willing to fight, murder, and kill over. When I first saw her, Lloyd, I knew I'd do anything to fuck her. That's a special feeling, Lloyd. Or Harry, right? You understand? Or was it Harry, and then he said to Lloyd, pull over. That's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing, right? And so you're just going to have to come to terms with that. You are not the Lord and you're not God. You are not the Lord thou God. You're a demon bastard who turned God into a possessive pronoun first person in your head and had to be corrected by the spirit of Father Adam. Y otra vez. One more time. Right? So when you submit to faith and infinite glory, and you get up to share the Lord's Prayer with me worldwide, you're going to start loving me as beautifully as I loved you before you were even born. You understand? Maybe it's intuition. Some things you just don't question. I knew I loved you before I met you. I think I dreamed you into life. I knew I loved you before I met you. I've been waiting for all my life. Right? There's a spark of magic in your eyes. Candyland appears they'd see me smile. Never thought that fairy tales came true, but they come true when I'm near you. You're a genie in disguise, full of wonder and surprise. And bet you by golly, wow, you're the one that I've been waiting for forever. Remember Jesus in the Bible? The shepherd, the gracious good shepherd, he goes out to get that one. The whole flock is there. He goes out to get that one lost sheep to just bring him back to the whole flock, and he celebrates as if he saved the whole flock, right? And gracious good shepherd, he's a crazy nutburger bag, man. He's a lunatic. Well, life is eternal and grace is infinite. And the Lord's Prayer is perfect. So one day, I know you'll love me the same way I love you. You've just been lost in hell for a long-ass motherfucking time. What if we blow it all up? Grace is infinite. Me and the young man talked about it out front when he said, thanks for the talk. And I talked to him about his wife. And I said, there's no more beautiful woman in the world than the woman that sees you and wants to have children to continue to live and love and have faith eternally with you. There's no Taylor Swift, no Marilyn Monroe, no girl from the Game of Thrones that you're just sexually obsessed on that is as beautiful as the woman that wakes up in the morning next to you and goes to bed at night next to you and raises those cute little kids that look up at you and say, Daddy, does God have feet? Right? Okay, all you Dana Carvey HBO comedy special knuckle fucks, knock it off. Okay. Keep litter out of my area. You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now. And you're not so big. Amy loved that stupid show. I was like, oh God, it's a train wreck. And made me laugh. It was a train wreck. It was hilarious. Yeah. I was like, man, this is, But I was raised in high school at the Cummins house, and the the Bundys and the Malcolms and the Middlers and they had nothing on the Cumminses, man. You're like, whoa. Wait, holy shit. Bob's Virginia, the bitch of the basement. Whop! Oh God damn, that was a loud burp. But can we just go to the other side of the store? And she's okay, just to avoid her because she was embarrassing. And then she would sit there and go, Bobby, 7, make sure you get my Kotex. I'm like standing there going, why am I walking around the store with either one of you? Son of a bitch. Okay. Do you guys know my Uncle Donald? Okay. Check out for constables why he pisses all over his feet and his flip-flops in the parking lot. Yo no hablo inglés. I'm a legal alien. Please send me back to Mexico. I don't want anybody to know I'm related to these people. Okay. Oh, please vote for me for president. I would like to fuck you in the ear of money, sexually prostitute your children, and talk your sons into mass murdering people to keep me in business. Alrighty then. Anybody else think they're a better lover than me and born without sin? Okay. Well, we'll keep in touch. Yeah, I'm only fucking with you. I don't answer your phone calls. I collect everybody's phone calls, then I come on YouTube, say, keep showing me that ass, I'm going to kick it. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Stand up for that Lord's Prayer. We don't have to. I'll be back tomorrow. Shit, I'll be back in about as long as it takes those perverts at White Sands to load this one. Oh, yes, I will. You can guarantee. All right, love you very much. You like the cayenne pepper? Okay.